Greetings, programs. This is Wretch. Welcome back to Sherlock Holmes The Awakened. And as you can see here, the scene has changed quite substantially. Holmes found a secret entrance that led down below warehouse number 12, and when walking down the hallway, he started to have some sort of an attack or mental seizure and found himself here. Now, we are still navigating our way through, trying to figure out what's what. We saw the Sarlacc down here. And I don't think I want to examine that too closely. Let's just go ahead and run. Kind of reminds me of the terrain I would see on in The Shore, which was another really cool game. I see you.
It's like it stares right through me.
Oh. Wait. Interesting. So, is there a path that leads? Oh, that music design. It's class. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, it's like we're creating it. Okay. I have a theory. I don't like it.
Oh, no! Unspeakably revolting.
Thank you, Bob. There's a stairway. Is this going to lead? Like, we're on the other side of the lighthouse. Oh, yep. That's exactly what we needed. What is causing that sound? That just lock everything in place? Hello, Cthulhu. Oh, that it did. Okay. Now... Can I just back into the door?
My head is already spinning. When will this end?
Guess is as good as mine.
There are 2 recesses.
Heavens, they're multiplying. And we got door number 1, door number 2, door number 3, or door number 4 or 5. Place your bets. I like the ambiance.
On my head. What just happened?
Okay, that I liked less so. Let's try this one. I'll tell you what, let's do some concentration. Size 9 boot prints. Zoom tight. Going away. Hello. Alright, into the dark.
The stench.
Oh, that's cool.
A strange stone. It almost feels alive.
Oh, I'm delighted and terrified, beyond all belief. I'm actually not, but I'm sure Holmes is. Okay, that's one. And we aren't done yet, not by a long shot. Go to the one behind. There. And we're back. Try this way. Maybe we're just looking for hallways that have something. Yeah, that might be it. Size 9, clear edges. Bugna ba ahire. Things. Oh, well. Thank you very much for that warm welcome.
Oh, that is truly revolting.
More of the same really cool artwork. Ram's head.
Frozen and pulsing almost like it has a heart.
So part of Skeletor's staff, gotcha. Various sacrifices. I don't think Kimahia is going to be alive when we find him. Just throwing that out there. Lock that in place. And sometimes you just want to get out of here, but you need to stop sometimes and smell the roses. And look for clues.
Did I get out?
Hey! I remember this from the original game. I remember telling you guys.
John?
What is it, Holmes?
John's on the case. To illuminate something with your lantern, use L2. Okay. Where did Sherlock go?
Watson?
Holmes, where are you?
Oh, there he is. Ooh, he is not doing well.
Holmes. Holmes. Are you alright?
Fine. Watson, I'm fine. Thank you for asking.
Fine? By Jove, you should have heard the way you called out my name.
It was just a game of shadows.
With Zero Moriarty. Oh man, look at it. He's already got like a growth
I'm
of
glad.
beard.
This place gives me the chills. What are we dealing with?
Something that's finally interesting.
Oh, that's another thing. Sherlock's complete need for something out of the ordinary to entertain him. Throwing into this world, he may actually want to dive head first. Okay. So I guess you have passed on now.
Cyanosis of the lips, marks on the neck. This man was strangled.
Broken nails, dried mud crumbs. Needle prick.
His abdomen is severely bloated.
You better not have a... Okay, something just is glowing above, and I don't know what that means. I'm just saying, you better not have a face hugger in there.
Did you hear that, Watson?
I hear you.
Hello, Cthulhu.
This box contained a narcotic substance, much like the one in Kimihir's brazier. Black Edelweiss Institute, established 17-something.
Oh, Edelweiss. I know that flower and that word from Valkyria Chronicles.
It seems made for simple experiments. I wager they could not afford a better set.
Okay, United States of America. What is this? Advertisement flyer, Northwood Agency, any matter of discreet investigations. For you, we shall search the world. 154 Pennsylvania Lane, Boston, Massachusetts. It always leads to Massachusetts or Rhode Island. And that looks familiar. That's the dagger we unlocked.
I've never seen a pattern like this before. Old bloodstains. An American passport. Amos Colby. Someone got their hands dirty painting this with blood.
Amos Colby, hair red, eye color brown. April 20th, 1852 in Boston, Massachusetts. Date of entry into country, September 22nd, 1882. Back of the passport features a bloody drawing. It vaguely depicts a sea creature, perhaps an octopus.
At least 24 pendants, all identical and made of tin.
Is that like the... Right. Go ahead and see what else we can find here. Oh, we're creating a crime scene. I see, I see.
Oh, potent. This sensor has more narcotic residues. What on earth? It looks like the scribbling of madmen.
Alima. Now, I don't think that the original game had this. So, the ability to put together the crime scenes. So this is actually very cool. What the heck is that? Look at all that seafood.
Miserable food, mass-produced.
Some sort of goulash.
These clothes are missing buttons. They were forcefully removed. Dumpra, a staple of lecturemen's attire in Nepal. Gathered from dozens of people, at the very least.
Gotta keep those sacrifices coming.
I must have seen this one before. That explains my hallucinations.
Oh, that's true. So now we really need to start paying attention to those paintings when we see them. It could be a preview of upcoming attractions. Okay. There's something...
Oh, potent. This sensor has more narcotic residues.
What do we got here? Oh god, someone was inside.
Deep scratches left in a frenzy.
As you would. So... let's see. Was someone, like, basically trying to get out and then was...
The strength it would take to carry this crate, let alone break it.
Yeah. And we've got blood right here.
A small bloodstain, but not serious.
Not compared to some of the other stuff we've seen. Watson, what do you make of this?
I hope we are close to finding our answers. This place is unsettling.
Good call. Looks like I can still keep on...
Kianak, Flegethor, Lebumna, Siaha, Inguft.
talking to our boy Cthulhu there. Intentional drawing?
Someone used mud to draw a cross in a rectangle. Why?
Maybe a message?
These clothes were crudely cut off someone. An American, judging by the style. Fine rope work. Cut by a finer blade.
Oh, looks like we got our investigation areas. Okay. So what do we got here? Let's go for number 1. It's more accurate because of the evidence of strangulation. Excuse me, Lou. Alright, site number 2. So that would be this way. I would assume many worshippers, because this is like a big conglomeration of folks. And then this is, yeah, clothes ripped off. Wait, hold on. Well, both of those could be right, really. Or, I don't know, the ripping makes sense, what, with the buttons. Everything that we heard about there. Alright, so let's go with that. We've got... what is next? Over here? Yeah, let's see. Hurting himself with the crowbar. No, someone was inside. Yes! Oh, good lord. And then the final thing was over here. No, definitely. Shrine right here. But then cut him from his bonds, yeah, because it was time for the sacrifice. So, let's go ahead and run this through. We've got the strangulation here on the altar. He was here, he basically drew that symbol in his own blood. They come and grab him, they use the knife to threaten him. Got the worshippers here, got the ripped off clothes here. All kinds of craziness. Let's see if this actually works. Let's try and validate.
Many people were brought to this place. Their abductors stripped off their clothes and discarded them in a pile. The prisoners were kept in a soporific trance by the use of narcotics. A few tried to resist, but alas, in vain. After a few days, everyone was stuffed in a crate and sent elsewhere. Only one captive was left behind. He was strangled to death on this altar.
On his belly is heaving.
What the hell is happening, Holmes?
Calm yourself.
Well, his name is John Hurt. Or Kane.
What is it? Oh my God.
Good times.
Please tell me we found all we needed to, Holmes.
I think we found a bit more than that.
Yet we have no clue as to where those people have been taken.
And that's where you're wrong, Watson. We have more than enough. I just need to connect the dots. How about you pack your suitcase in the meantime, my dear fellow? Just in case.
Poof. Goodness. Okay. I kind of do remember the exploding stomach, too, from the remake, but after that, it's all very blurry. Other than, like, some sort of prison facility where an explosion went off. You know, we need Toby here to diffuse the tension. Okay, well, we're still a wreck here. What do we need to do? I guess we need a mind palace. Who is the dead man on the altar? Cross inside rectangle. I don't know if that's actually strange symbols. Well, the unknown man on the altar would make sense, right? So let's go ahead and pin that. And in terms of documents and testimonies, let's do... The passport would definitely be a thing, right? Amos Colby. And... now what? Boys... Oh, okay, it could be the advertisement flyer. He answered the advertisement, and look what happened to him. Ooh, got it in one. The man on the altar was a private detective from the Northwood Agency in Boston. Mr. Colby may have been investigating the disappearance. Oh, okay, gotcha. That's what that advertisement is. May have been investigating the disappearances before getting caught and killed by the perpetrators. So that's why they sacrificed him, and everyone else is like part of the plan. Whatever the plan is. Where have the abducted been sent to? Hiring notice. I don't know about that. There's men, strange symbols, maybe? What do we have for blue? Gaia, Soulsby's. Oh, Black Edelweiss Institute. Let's go with that. Then we have the rusty key. And now we just decide what the rest of these were. I assume maybe things that we saw there? Warehouse 12 happenings? Let's go with strange symbols. We got 2. Unknown. Let's try the cross inside the rectangle. Switzerland. Oh, the abductees are headed for the Black Edelweiss Institute, established in the 1700s. It lies somewhere in Switzerland, and I think that's the area that I was telling you all about with the bomb, or the explosion. There wasn't a bomb. I think I mixed something incorrectly and caused an explosion. And everything looks good there. Abductees. Some information from your case can be found in your archives. Open your case book and highlight evidence marked with an open book. Press triangle to start your research in the archives. Oh god. Okay, it's been a while since we've done the archives. I'm still looking around just to see if anything... Because I remember in Holmes's house on the island, there was, on Cordona, there was a lot of kind of sinking city and Lovecraftian stuff, so seeing if any of it, like, followed him. Okay. Anyway, search in the archives. The abductees are headed for the Black Edelweiss Institute, established in the 1700s. It lies somewhere in Switzerland, so that would be Europe? Yes. Date of establishment, 1700s. Field of activity. Don't know about that. Private facility? It would seem like a private facility. The Black Edelweiss Institute is in Interlaken, Switzerland. Established in 1789 by Professor Keller, the institute specializes in mental illness and addictions. It is currently headed by Professor Gygax.
Dr. Watson, how does a trip to Switzerland sound to you?
It sounds unexpected. What makes you think we should head there?
It's all about the box with narcotics and Mr. Colby's clue, the cross inside a rectangle. Put 2 and 2 together, add a dash of research, and what do you get? The Black Edelweiss Institute in Interlaken, Switzerland. If we hurry, we can still catch tonight's train.
Holmes is looking rough. Whispers in the dark. I assume he'll look rougher as the game continues.
As grateful as I have been for your company, Dr. Watson, I'm afraid you shall have to investigate Edelweiss alone.
Alone? Mr. Holmes, I fear you overestimate my abilities.
Nonsense. You are a military man, a bastion of British courage.
I'm no such thing. As a doctor, I avoided most combat, save for one dreadful day. My troop was ambushed in a village with innocents caught in the crossfire. Too many to help.
The man with the rosary. He was one of them?
A translator, yes. We were trapped. 6 soldiers and myself. I thought it was the end. But Lieutenant Paget refused to go quietly. The men prepared for a final stand. I rose to follow, but Paget shook his head. He told me to run, that I had other men to save. They charged, and I fled through the rear. So you see, Mr. Holmes, I am a coward.
The logic seems inescapable.
Yes.
Wow, Sherlock.
You, a surgeon by trade, would have been perfectly useless in that conflict.
Ah,
What?
okay.
No.
And how many men have you helped since? Ailments eased, troubles tended?
No more than a handful. Truth be told, I have become somewhat of a recluse.
How many people could you help with 30 years ahead of you? Dozens? Hundreds? Paget was correct. You can cease your self-recrimination.
Holmes, I don't know what to say.
I would start with, I am Dr. John Watson, may I look around?
Wow, that was cool. I also like the fact that they're giving Watson kind of a Sean Bean voice. Being in the army, it kind of reminds me of that show that he was in before he was known for Lord of the Rings, Sharp. And welcome to Switzerland. Now, some of you may think that there's nothing really Lovecraftian here in Switzerland, but Switzerland was the home of a little artist named H.R. Giger.
The Edelweiss staff will doubtless be eager to show off their facility to a fellow physician. I have already taken the liberty of sending a letter on your behalf to request a visit.
And what of you?
I shall be pursuing other avenues. Should you see anything troublesome or improper, simply notify the local authorities. Otherwise, try a little analysis yourself. You know my methods. Apply them.
Looks lovely. A wonderful location where nothing but good will happen. See? Institutionalized medicine. The Mountains of Madness. Oh, God. Alright. Edelweiss Institute. Alright, get me to a place where I can save. Thank you. Alright, guys. Well, now we are playing as Watson. Interesting. Well, we will see what the good doctor can do in the beginning of the next episode. Hope you all have enjoyed it. If you liked the episode, please leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help. I will see you next time. Later days, everyone.